learning Brachas Daf Tezvav. We are learning the sugya of reading Shema without tefillin. We learned two opinions. We learned to Ula that has a more gevurendike view, Ki'ilu Meid Eidu Sheker Ba'atzmai. Then we learned the Shita of Rabbi Yechanan, right? Amar Rabbi Chia, Bar Abba Amar Rabbi Yechanan. It's not Ki'ilu Meid Eidu Sheker, but it's like bringing oil without a mincha or zevach without nesachim. We spoke out to Alter Rebbe, Rotzi without shoiv. Just to add to that, Al Pi Nigla, the reason why we don't wear tefillin on Shabbos is because it says Al Pi Shnei Eidim Yakum David. And there are few mitzvahs that are in the category of testimonies. Bris Milah, tefillin, Shabbos. And two testimonies are enough. So during the weekday, you don't have Shabbos, you have the Bris Milah and tefillin. On Shabbos, Shabbos itself is an aid. So then Bris and Shabbos, tefillin is superfluous. Al Pi Chassidus, the reason why we don't wear tefillin on Shabbos is because the whole day of Shabbos is a day of Ratzoi. That's why we're not allowed to do any of the 39 melachas. We're going up. There's an Aliyah on Shabbos. So we don't wear tefillin. Anyways, behemshach ladat, we're going to learn more about making hachanas for prayer. We're going to be learning about some aspect of Netilas Yadayim. We're going to learn a difference between Netilas Yadayim for Kriya Shema versus Netilas Yadayim for Tefilla. For Tefilla, the Netilas Yadayim is even more important, as we will, God willing, learn details. We're going to have a Mishnah Daf Tezvav that's going to speak about three main halachas. We're going to learn the halacha of Hakoyre Shema v'lo hishmiya la'oznai. In other words, there's silent reading that we just mentioned back. Now we're learning about people saying the words, but they cannot hear, it's not audible to them what they themselves read. Either they read it too low, or because there's a lot of noise in the environment. Are you yoitze or not? So in the Mishnah, it looks like there's a two-way machlokes. Really, it's a three-way machlokes tanoim, as the Gemara will develop. It's either good l'chatchila, or not even good b'diavad, or l'chatchila you should hear, but b'diavad, if you didn't hear, you were yoitze. Then we're going to learn about the topic of when you read the Shema, whether you were not digdeg ba'oisi yoisel, which means were you meticulous in enunciating every single letter. And as you see that at Ada Yom Hazeh, when people read the Shema, some people are very medagdeg dafke by Shema, to read every single letter, and even when you have words that are juxtaposed one to the other, and one ends and the other one begins with the same ois, that you're supposed to take a small break in between, not to use the same ois here or for there. We're going to learn, God willing, the tosfot that speaks about the importance when you say the words Laman Tizkiru, to emphasize the Zion. It shouldn't be a sin, because Laman Tizkiru means in order for you to get reward. And we don't serve God to get reward. It's not another selfish endeavor. It's serving God, not serving me. So it's about remembering and not about getting reward. We're going to learn about that if a person enunciates all of the letters very meticulously, how even the fires of Gehenim are cooled off for him or for her, and we'll give a suggestion, Mahakesher, and a lot more. And with that, let us start on Daf Yud Daled Amid Beis. We left off the bottom of the Amid by the two dots, the last line in the Amid, Ve'amar Rabbi Yechanan. Behemshech, to what we learned before, that Hareitze Sheikabel Olav Oil Malchus Shemaim Shlema. If a person wants to accept upon themselves a complete acceptance of the yoke of heaven, Daf Tezvav. So again, we're learning about the concept of making preparations for davening, and that includes even physical hachanas. First, Yipana. A person should relieve oneself. In other words, the person should not put themselves in a position that in the middle of davening, they have to go to the bathroom. It disturbs the davening. That which is out of your control is out of your control. But if a person can first relieve oneself beforehand, that's out of the way. That's the concept of Yimizak Sur Mira, Va'asei Toif. Get rid of the negative. And then V'yitel Yadav, wash your hands. Here we have washing the hands. There's really two general approaches when it comes to Netilas Yadayim. It's very important. The whole sugya of Ruach Ra'ah, that is in Masechta Shabbos. Ruach Ra'ah is to get rid of the evil spirit that remains on the periphery of one's body when you wake up. When a person sleeps, whenever there is a kedusha, that left in there goes klippa. That's the rule. So when a person sleeps, there's a Ruach Ra'ah in the entire person, because the neshama, to a certain degree, leaves. When the person wakes up, when the neshama re-enters, the neshama itself has the koyach to expel the ruach ra. In the earlier days, it expelled it fully. At a certain point, no, you have to wash your hands to finish getting rid of the ruach ra. That we'll learn on Shabbos. Here we're learning about a whole different topic, not about the past getting rid of the ruach ra, but getting ready to daven. Getting ready to daven, right? We have this even in the Beis HaMikdash, that the Kahana would wash their hands and their feet. You have to clean your hands. Now here, well, we'll learn, says the Gemara, you have to wash your hands with more details in a moment. Do you need dafka mayim? Can you wash your hands not on mayim? V'yanliach tefillin and then put on tefillin. And again, dafka tefillin first. And then v'yikre kriya shma, read the shma, v'yispalel and daven shmona esrei, v'zuhi malchus shamayim shalema. Now just to quickly read, like I mentioned that here in Brachas, on the Riv, we have not the Ran. Many people in Yeshiva are more familiar with the Ran, but we have the Rabbeinu Yoina. So there's a Rabbeinu Yoina. If you want to quickly look on, if whoever has a Riv on Daf Ches in the back, and I want to read what he writes. That haroitz lekabel olav oil malchus shamayim shleima kam hadavar. Listen to how familiar these words are. V'pnei shebetfilin sheberois. When you put in the head tefillin, Adam mishabed laboyre yizbarech haneshama. This we learn Mamash and Tanya Perek Tes, right? The ikir place where the nefesh alekis resides is in the moyach. Shiba moyach. Ubet tefillin shebezraya Adam mishabed gufay. And let's go. The Alter Rebbe explains that the ikir place of the nefesh habaham is in the leiv. So the lower part of the person here, he's speaking about the gufas in the Zeraya. Umepnei kach tzivu lahasim oisam keneged haleiv shehaleiv hi ikir hatayvis v'hamachshavos uba yiskoyer es haboirei. And listen to these words. V'yemayit hana oisav. What does the Alter Rebbe write in the Siddur? What is the kavanah we're supposed to have? Many people say this by heart before they put on tefillin. Mamish. I'm reading inside the Alter Rebbe Siddur that v'lachein sarich. I'm sorry. Yechaven b'hanachas tefillin shetzivanu hakadosh baruch hu lichtev dalal parshas elu sheyesh b'm yichud shmoi v'yitzias mitzrayim kedei sheniskar nisim v'nefloi she'asei manu shehei moirim al yichudai v'asher loi hakoyach v'hamemshal olasis b'alyenim v'tachtonim kiritzoinoi v'tzivanu l'hanichan al azroi keneged haleiv. Va'al haroish keneged hamoyach kedei shenishabed haneshama shehi b'moyach v'gam tayvos u'machshavos libeinu la'avodos yisbarach shal yidei anochas tefillin yizkeres haboyre v'yimayit hana oisav. It's mamish the toichen of this Rabbeinu Yoina. Okay, and that's the Kabbalah's oil malchus Shamayim, Shalema, all of these steps, the Yapana, Yitalyana, V'yinech Tefillin, Yikaratishma, V'yispal. Amar Rabchia Bar Abba, Amar Rabbi Yechanan, Kol HaNifna, and V'noitel Yadav, and U'maneach Tefillin, and V'koyre Kriyashma, and U'mispalel, Mal Olav HaKosov, Ki'ilu Bana Mizbeach, V'hikrev Olav Korban. Now get the diuk here. Not Ki'ilu Hikrev Korban. Tefillos are B'makim Korbanos. But it's as if you built an altar. In other words, in order to bring a carbon, there are many things you have to do pre-bringing the carbon. Hachanas. These are all, it's as if you built a mizbech and you built a carbon. The chsiv, as it says, Erchatz bin nekoya in kapai, I will wash in cleanliness my hands. And va'asoiveva ez mizbachach Hashem, and I will circle around your mizbeach. So you have a link, you see, even between the mizbeach. Omar le ravam. Right, you should have added something else. That if a person only washes one's hands in the morning before davening, washing one's hands is tantamount to toiveling the entire body. Because it says, Erchatz ben kohen, I will wash in cleanliness, and it doesn't say, Architz kapei, I will wash my hands. Washing my hands means only my hands. Erchatz means all of me is washed. In other words, he is of the opinion that washing of the hands is ki'ilu tava. Okay. Amalei Ravina l'Rava. Chazi ma, did you see, my master, Hayt Surma mit Rabbanan, that young Torah scholar, to us that he came from the Holy Land, he came from the West. And he says that that if you don't have water to wash your hands, don't spend too much time searching for water. You have to clean your hands, either ba'afar on earth. Today, on Tafshin Pei, if your hands are not that clean and you want to clean it off with earth, your hands will become a lot more dirty. That's because the level of hygiene is much better. There could have been pushed something dirty on their hands. So to get off something even more dirty, rubbing your hands on the earth will get off that dirt, or ubetzrayit, or on pebbles, or ubekismis on little chips of wood. Is that correct? In other words, that wash your hands with water, but if you don't have water, it suffices by cleaning your hands on something that will just rub away the dirt. And by the way, there's a big machlokes in Periscope what bracha you are to make. Do you say then al netilas yadayim or al nikiyus kapayim? But that's good enough. Amalei, so he tells him shaper ka'amar, good gesagt. Why? Because going back to the pasuk in Tehillim Chavav, miksiv erchatz bamayim doesn't say bamayim. It says b'nekoyin ksiv, which means kol mida demenake, anything that brings about nikiyus yodayim. Now, just to make it clear that when we're going to learn in Shabbos, the concept of removing ruach ra, there you need mayim dafka. That's the whole concept that a person's midos, when a person sleeps, the bina goes to sleep. The chachma is alive and healthy. We'll learn this later in Berachot also. The bina is what contains your mind, which is why we have crazy dreams. That which doesn't make sense makes sense in a dream. The moyach bina is asleep. And what contains the emotions? Emotions are infinite. Why don't we go completely crazy? Because the bina limits the emotions. When the bina is weakened, the emotions go out of whack, which is unhealthy. When you wake up in the morning, the bina comes back into the person, but it doesn't fully contain the midos. So the hands are midas, chesed and gevura. So the epis of the midas is still flying all over the place. And we need to contain it. And containing it is with the mind. Mayim represents the mind, as we learn so much in chassidus. So you need dafka mayim. But if we're speaking about hachana l'tefillah is not about getting rid of the ruach ra, of some unholy ruach emotions. It has to do with getting ready for davening. Getting ready for davening, that suffices just to clean your hands. Okay. And he says, weiter, he would curse someone who is looking for water, it's time to daven, it's time to say the Shema, it's time to daven. So this person says, no, I can't daven without washing my hands, even though they have pebbles, they have something to take away the course. But they're delaying their prayer, they're making too much achanas is good. Go daven. When was he upset that the person was wasting, so to say, his or her time looking for water? Daven at the right time, that's only if they delayed Kriya Shema. And like Rashi says, because Kriya Shema has a zman. What's the zman of Kriya Shema we learned? Taka not only with Neitzach Chama, but you have to finish it by the end of the third seasonal hour of the day. So if you're going to lose the zman Kriya Shema, sometimes make less achanas and do the ikir. Achanas. Oh, Mashiach should come. Achanas, enough with the achanas. But when it comes to prayer, mahadir, you should look for water. Now Rashi says something that everyone is challenged with. Rashi writes, because tefillah you can daven the whole day. And really, we'll learn later in the Masechta that it's not correct. There's a machlokes tanoim. Either you can daven only until the end of the fourth seasonal hour, or the Chachamim say you can daven only until Chatzos. Rashi here says you can daven the whole day. So many people, Al Pinigla, explain the reason for that is that if a person was an oines and they couldn't daven, they can make up tashlumin. And you can do tashlumin for Shachris the whole day, because you have to do it right after Mincha. Mincha you can daven, especially us Chassidim, we wait until Shkia and then we daven Mincha, right by Shkia. So then you can do Tfilas Tashlumin. Bottom line is, you should see that the hachana for Shema, as far as washing your hands with water, is not as important, or Kriya Shema trumps it. Bottom line is, you're not going to have water for Shema, you're going to have water for davening. What do we have in the Hayom Yom? It's somewhere in Nisan, that Moida Ani. that all of the tumas in the world cannot be metama the moida'ani from a yid. So it's interesting. So a prayer that is coming from a deeper part of a yid is so pure that you don't have to clean the hands. So for the moida'ani, you don't need to wash your hands. For Shema, clean your hands, but if you don't have water, it's oichet good. Wash it on earth. For Tefilla, there you have to wash your hands with water. So al derech, the moida'ani doesn't need natilas yadayim. The Shema of a yid is so powerful, the Mesiras Nefesh, that's where you see everyone has an neshama. And even the Rosh Gamur, God forbid, they're moisa nafsham al kedushas Hashem. Oh, and that Shema's Mesiras Nefesh. So we're not that gung ho on the mayim davke. Now, va'at kama, how far for tefillah, you do have to get water. And if you don't have running water, as no one had running water not that long ago, so how far do you have to go out of your way to get water for tefillah, not for Shema, at parsa? Parsa is 4 mil. 4 mil is anywhere between 2.5 and 4 miles, or 5 miles. Different shiur. Now, v'hanamili, that you do have to go until a parsa to get water, lekame, if you are traveling and you are anyways going in your direction. You're going to Eretz Yisrael. It means we're going here east. So go another parsa east. But to go up to the west, afilu mil ein chayzer. You don't go an entire mil. That was the end of the statement. Now, how much do you have to go? Up until a mil. The Gemara is introducing to us how we have to learn dinim from inference. When he says a mil, you don't have to go. So umina, from this we know milu de ein chayzer. But pachos mimil, even going out of your way, going backwards, you have to be chayzer. Very good. Says the Mishnah. And we're going to have 3 very important halachas in the Mishnah. Number 1, hakoyda shema, if a person read the Shema, and the person did not make it audible. He said the words, but he didn't hear it. He didn't hear his own words. So here we have a machlokes, and as we'll see in the Gemara, many had here Yatsa Divrei Rebbe Yehuda, as the Messiah Sashas brings in the side. Now, what does Yatsa mean? Does it mean B'di'evet, or does it mean L'chatchila? Will be a big part of today's daf. But for sure, B'di'evet, you were Yotze. Rabbi Yossi Omer Lo Yatsa. And then one thing is clear, that Rabbi Yossi holds, even B'di'evet, you did not fulfill your obligation. Din number 2. If a person read the Shema, but they were not meticulously careful to enunciate every single letter, not every single word. Every letter should be clearly articulated. So here, but here it flips. Rabbi Yossi, that before was Machmer, his here lenient, Yotza. Rabbi Yehuda, Oimer, Lo Yotza. Finally, if a person reads the Shema out of sequence, and as we mentioned the Rashba on Daf Yud Gimel, that if you say the portions out of sequence, you're good. That's why the Pedic Hoyakoida Batoida V'Kiven Liba Yatza. But if in the parsha itself, either you read it backwards, you read the words backwards, or you read verses out of order in the same parsha, Lo Yatza. And there's no machlokes here. In chassidut, so he says, when you read anything in the Torah and you don't apply it to now, used to be, was, then you're not yoitz. Now, if a person read and they made a mistake, based on the rule of hakoyda l'mafreya, in other words, if I skipped a word, I skipped a verse, if I am allowed to read it out of sequence, so then insert the verse that you forgot when you chap that you forgot it. But if you were just to do that, then you would be reading it out of sequence. So what do you need to do that it should be in sequence? Now you don't have to go back to the beginning. You have to go back to the place that you forgot. So you read that pasuk and then you continue from then onwards, even though you already read some of that. Now it's not out of sequence. Now you read with the pause in between. But that's okay. But it's not out of sequence. So therefore, yachzer lamakim shata. You only have to go back to the place where you made that mistake and repeat, say those words, say that pasuk, and then continue from there, from the place that you made a ta'us. Okay, so the first topic of the Mishnah was, excuse me, my Talmud Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi says he's the machmer. He says even b'diavad you're not yoytze. So he says mishum d'chsiv because it says shema. You know what shema means? You listen. Deeper shema means understand. Shema is from bina. Trach zecharayim. But al pi pshat hashma le'oznecha, may your ears have to hear ma sha'ata moitzim mepicha. Okay, and the Tanakama here, let's go with our Girsas Rebbe Yehuda, either even lechatchila or at least b'diavad, I state Shema. Savar, Shema means b'chol loshen sha'ata shemeya. That was the whole machlekes we had. Do you have to read the Shema dafke in loshen hakodesh, or can you read it in any language that you understand? So Rabbi Yehuda learns, Shema means understand, not to physically hear. But Rabbi Yossi can agree with that. Rabbi Yossi holds that even though normally you don't learn two things from the same word, here you do, because it means many things. Shema means understand, and Shema means you should hear. Tarta, Rabbi Yossi, Tarta Shema mino. And it's time to know that we paskins, because when someone asked that we could read the Shema b'chol loshen, we paskin that we may, but many of the later poskim, the Hassan wrote a whole tshuva, when the Reform movement was born, and they made Siddurim in their language, in German, or today in English, and he answered that. He says that if an individual, if you want to understand the davening, if the shul davens, b'lashon hakodesh, and even an individual, every now and then, you want to read it in English, you're good. But to make the tefillos in any kavua, in a language that's not lashon hakodesh, he writes that one may not do that. And al pi Kabbalah, for sure, it's better to read it in Lashon HaKodesh, and it's best for you to understand what you're reading. So you can tell a person when they're starting to daven, say every day, say another piece of the Shemona Esrei, or I take that back, because the Shemona Esrei, B'chal, there's another, then you can't say two languages in the same Shemona Esrei. You have to pick one language. That's a halach, and even if you're adding your own tefillah, you have to add it in the language that you're davening. But every now and then, learn another shtickle of the davening.
So the question is, what happens if you understand it in English or read it in Lashon Kodesh, but you don't understand it? Which one?
That's what we just mentioned about. So there's definitely yesh bozeh v'yesh bozeh, and it's better in the long run for a person to understand better what they're reading and read it b'lashon hakodesh. And b'oifenara, if you want to read it one time or a few times in English, that's okay. But never the shliach tzibur. Okay. Says the Gemara. Now all of this, we're going to have a nice, easy back and forth. These are puzzles that the Gemara does. We're going to bring various dinim, mishnayos, braises, and we're going to try to chap what is shitas Rabbi Yehuda for everything to fit. So Tanan Hassan we learn. Now we're beginning now with the Mishnah and Terumos. It's all connected to this topic. Cheresh here means someone who's only deaf, but they can speak. Hamadav ben Shemeya. Says the Mishnah, lo yitraim, don't separate truma. Farvas, why can't someone who cannot hear separate truma? Gavaldik says Rashi, 9 lines from the top of the Amid, because since you make birchas mitzvahs, it's midrabanan. Okay, but you have to make a bracha before you separate truma, and for you to be yotzei bracha, you have to hear your bracha. He can't make a bracha. He can't hear what he's saying. So what will be missing? There'll be a lack in the bracha. Lo yitraim. That's how Rashi explains the din. Ve'im taram, but if he did separate truma say truma. End of Mishnah. Now, who do you think the author of this Mishnah is? In our Mishnah, we had two shittas, Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi. Says the Gemara, Mantana, who is the author of the Mishnah? Cheresh Hamadav ben Shemeya. The Eved in. That's clearly the Mishnah. Don't, but if you did it, it's good. It has to be not Rabbi Yehuda. It's got to be Rabbi Yossi. Now hold on. What did Rabbi Yossi say in our Mishnah? Even b'di'evid, if you didn't hear, you were not Yotzei Shema. Now what's the difference between our Mishnah and the Mishnah in Terumos? Our Mishnah is speaking about reading Shema. Shema is a mitzvah, mido'iraisa. Brachas are mitzvahs, the Rabbanan, and furthermore, if a person didn't make a bracha, and according to many Rishonim, even when they're obligated to make a bracha, mido'iraisa. Let's go with the Shitas Ramban and the others that hold that Birchas HaTorah We mentioned this bekitza machlekes rishonim, whether it's a mitzvah midoiraisa. Let's say that I'm obligated midoiraisa to say the birchas hatayra, and if one didn't, did they miss the mitzvah of Torah or did they miss the mitzvah of birchas hatayra? According to almost all, they didn't lose the mitzvah of learning Torah. They lost the mitzvah of a bracha. So that's the difference. Oh, so it says it has to be Rabbi Yossi. The Tanan in our Mishnah we learned Hakodesh Hashem Abalesh Mila Oznai. Tanakama holds Yatza. Here is where the Gemara says the words Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. The Bach is challenged with that. But obviously many people had the Girsa in our Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda will learn that. Rabbi Yossi says, even b'di'evet you're not Yotze. So how are we saying that the author of the Mishnah in Terumas is Rabbi Yossi? There he allows it b'di'evet. So the Gemara explains, Ad kan lekam Rabbi Yossi here. Even b'di'evet lo Yatza. Guys, this is so practical. I'm on the airplane. If you use daven, it's hard to hear your own words. And according to Rabbi Yossi, even b'di'evet you're not Yotze. Okay. So when does Rabbi Yossi say you're not Yotze? Ella gabi kriya shema, which is the Oiraisa. But when it comes to the Mishnah in Trumais, the issue of a deaf person is not he can separate. The issue is he can't hear the bracha. Birchas HaMitzvahs is only midrabanan. Mishum bracha derabanan, number one. Then we learned, the Pnei Yeshua learns Pshat. And number two, even if Birchas HaMitzvah would have been midoiraisa, and therefore he wouldn't have gotten the Birchas HaMitzvahs, but the mitzvah he did. That's the number two. V'loi bibracha talya milsa. Now, many disagree with that. But we'll go with that. That's the way we pass. That means if a person needed to make a bracha and they didn't lose the mitzvah. They lost the bracha of the mitzvah. So that's why even our Rabbi Yossi there will agree that b'di'evet you're good. But not Rabbi Yehuda. Now why did Rabbi Chizda not want to make it Rabbi Yehuda? The Mishnah in Truma says l'chatchila no b'di'evet not. How did he learn Pshat in our Mishnah? Don't forget, if Rabbi Yehuda in our Mishnah, the Tanakh in our Mishnah, when it says Yatza, if Yatza means only b'di'evet, then it's a perfect shidduch. Say it's Rabbi Yehuda. It's better for you to hear. If you don't hear, you're Yotze. Umemai the Rabbi Yossi, the only Rabbi Yehudi. And mamash, it's a fit, it's a shidduch. Because even by Krishma, when the Mishnah says Yatza, it doesn't mean lachatchila. I feel like Rabbi Krishma Nami, the Yeved in lachatchila noi. He's not challenging the fact that Rabbi Yossi could be moida. But why do you have to jump to Rabbi Yossi? If the pshat in our Mishnah is that Rabbi Yehuda is only speaking about on a b'di'evedical level, then it's the same thing. And Peida, and I'll prove it to you that our Mishnah only means b'di'eved, not that the Tanakh Rabbi Yehuda is saying lachatchila. Because listen to the words hakoire. These are good klalim. Hakoire means that not that you could read. If someone read it and you didn't hear it, that whole lashon is a lashon of b'di'eved. The word hakoire, you get it, is the eved in lachatchila. So
don't they both agree basically?
Could be. In other words, he's not debating the fact that even Rabbi Yossi could be moida that by trumais b'di'eved his truma is a truma. We're not debating that. But the reason why Rabbi Chizda didn't suggest Rabbi Yehuda is because it sounds like he understood that Rabbi Yehuda is saying that lechatchila you don't have to hear. And if by doiraisa lechatchila you don't have to hear, then for sure by trumais lechatchila chedesh can be mafresh. The question is not whether it also fits with Rabbi Yossi. The question is, what is Shitas Rabbi Yehuda? That will be the whole limit. How do you learn the Mishnah? So they countered, Amri Loi. You're right. The word HaKoida implies a b'di'evet. But the reason why the Mishnah used that expression, the chiddush of Rabbi Yossi is that even b'di'evet, you're not Yotze. And I'll prove it to you, because the Rabbi Yehuda, afilo lechatchila nami yotza. So now the Gemara continues. Okay, but you didn't say that, right? You're telling me that the Mishnah in Trumais follows the Tana Rabbi Yossi. And why is he more lenient, like we mentioned? Because there in Trumas the issue is not the mitzvah, the issue is the birchais hamitzvahs, which is only midrabanan. Ve'elo, let's learn another Tana. Here we're quoting a Braisa. Hadatanya lo yivarech adam birchas hamazin beliboy. It's important to learn everything we're learning today. Believe me, we're not learning about silent reading. That's called lechavi. That's the sugi we had before, right? That's the sugi we had on daf yud gimel amud beis. And we don't paskin that way. That was the havamina. Belibay means you said the words, but you couldn't hear it. Same topic. So the Brisa says, don't bench birchas hamazon, which is a mitzvah mida oiraisa, belibay, but the imbeirech, you're yotza. Now let me understand something. Money. Now, if you are insisting that Trumas goes according to Rabbi Yossi, because you learned Pshat that Rabbi Yehuda is saying even lachatchila it's good, so now this Brisa goes according to no one. So Mani, this Brisa of Birchas Hamazon, loy Rabbi Yossi v'loy Rabbi Yehuda. Because if it's going to go according to Rabbi Yehuda, according to you, Rabbi Chizda, that you understood that Rabbi Yehuda is speaking even lachatchila, well, if Rabbi Yehuda says that even lachatchila, if you read the Shema, you didn't hear it, you're yotza. So Birchas Hamazon, even lachatchila, you should be yotze. Dear the Brisa says the words clearly, right? Don't do it. If you did it, then you got it. Clearly, it's a b'diavad l'kedin. And lo yivar, the imberich. And if it's according to Rabbi Yossi for sure will hold that even b'diavad you're not yotze. Birchas Hamazon is doiraisa. You see that? No, now you can always add it's a third Tanach, and we're going to find the third Tanach. But in other words, this is all as a proof. It's a lot better to learn Pshat in our Mishnah that Rabbi Yehuda in our Mishnah is only speaking b'diavad. The word hakoida fits. It's going to be a perfect match with Trumais. And now Rabbi Yehuda is the author of Birchas Hamazon. So the Gemara says, you're not done yet. Elamai, okay, so what solves everything? By saying that Rabbi Yehuda holds, it's Rabbi Yehuda, u'di'evedin lechatchila loy. If that's the case, I got another Tanach that I have to understand. Elo the Tani. This is another Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda, Stam Rabbi Yehuda is Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Loy. Here, Rabbi Yehuda bereid Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi. Cheresh hamedaber ve'enoi shemeya. What does it say over here? Toirem lechatchila. If our Mishnah, if our Rabbi Yehuda holds only b'diavad, here, and there's another, Rabbi Yehuda, Bereid Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi says that you can lechatchila separate trumas. Well, oy bazoi, mani, loy Rabbi Yehuda, v'loy Rabbi Yossi. According to Rabbi Chizda, who will be this Tana? Rabbi Yehuda of our Mishnah. Which is why he needed to say that trumas is Rabbi Yossi. But now that we, so to say, said no, that he made a mistake, Rabbi Chizda. So who's the author of this, Rabbi Yehuda Bereid Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi? Rabbi Yehuda Amar, according to you now, our Rabbi Yehuda only says the Eved. Lechatchila noi. According to Rabbi Yossi in our Mishnah, even the Eved nami loy. So Ella says the Gemara lo oilam Rabbi Yehuda va'afilu lechatchila nami. We're going back. Rabbi Chizda is right. Our Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda holds, even though the word hakoyim means b'di'evid, Rabbi Yehuda holds you can even lechatchila. You don't have to hear. And if that's the case, by one second, not by Truma, by our Mishnah, even Lachatchila is good. Now the Mishnah and Truma has to go according to Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi says in our Mishnah, even b'di'evet it's not good. That's because it's doiraisa there, it's a bracha. If Rabbi Yehuda speaks about Lachatchila, everything fits now. So now this Rabbi Yehuda, Bereid Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, by Cheresh Hamadaba v'nishmei toidem Lachatchila goes according to our Mishnah. What's the only Tana that we don't understand? Birchas Hamazon. Right, by Birchas Hamazon it says, don't, and if you did it, then you're good. Now, if our Rabbi Yehuda holds lichatchila, you can do it. So who is now loikasha the Birchas Hamazon? Because the day Rabbi Yehuda himself holds that even lichatchila is good. However, the Rabbi, in other words. Yeah, Rabbi Yehuda had a teacher. Who was the teacher of Rabbi Yehuda? Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. And I'm reading inside Rashi now. Guys, these are such good klolim. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says, Sarich sheyashmiya la'aznav, about Shema. And Rashi teaches us a rule. Now, there could be exceptions. If we'll get there today, we're going to learn exception, not that far away from here. Whenever you hear the word sarich, what does sarich imply? Lechatchila. I'm sorry. Sarich means lechatchila, meaning you should, but if you didn't, it's good enough. If something is so essential, then we would not use the word sarich. You should do it that way. It's good to do it that way. Even should.
And that was only because of
So no, according to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, that listening is only a din al lechatchila. So the Brais of Birchas Hamazon that says that if you didn't hear, you shouldn't say it. But if you said it, you're yoitza. That's according to the Shita of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. It's even good lechatchila according to Rabbi Yehuda. Very good. Now we'll speak out later. Al pi chassidus. There's a big difference. Why do you have to hear? What's this hearing? Why do you have to say the words? We'll leave that till later. Now here's the Tanya. It's not a bright. The Tanya, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, and now we know that was his rebbe. That HaKodesh Shema. Even though Rabbi Yehuda, we also know Rabbi Yehuda was a Talmud of whom? Rabbi Yehuda was a Talmud of Rabbi Akiva. It's not a stira. And this story happened with Rabban Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua. You sure here it fits? Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Akiva were in the same generation. So it was that era. Yeah. Very good. Okay, that what? HaKodesh Shema, look what he says. Tzorech sheyashmiya, that's the tzorech. Tzorech sheyashmiya lo oznoi, shenemar, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. And that was the klal that Rashi teaches us. When someone says tzorech, if they would hold, but the evidence not good, they wouldn't word. You know how they would say it? They would say, if you read the Shema and you didn't hear, lo yotza. Like the Mishnah says. When someone tells you tzorech, only means lechatchila. Sometimes it's not good to know that. Because then, okay, I hear you, it's good. Yeah, you should. It doesn't mean you have to. You should, you have to. Okay. Amalei Rav Meir, now we're learning another Tanach. So this is all part of that B'raisa. So Rav Meir tells Rav Elazar ben Azariah, why are you telling me that what? That reading the Shema lechatchila you should hear? No. In the parish of Shema, Harei Oimer, Asher Onechem Etzav Chayim Al Levavecha. Remember, Lo Yivarech Adam Birchas Hamazon Beliboy. You know, it's the concept of your heart. Levavecha emphasizes understanding, emphasizes kavana. Do it with your heart. I don't care if you hear or not. The heart is the inner person. The hearing is the outer person. Does it have to come down to the outer person? No. As long as it's in your heart. In other words, achar kavanas halev hein hadavarim. Here we have it of Meir that says that lechatchila you don't have to hear. So now that we have it of Meir, now we're back. Now we found a Tana that says that lechatchila you don't have to hear. So now the Gemara says, why are you trying to tell me that our Rabbi Yehuda heard from his Rebbe one thing? His Rebbe said only b'diavad. He said lechatchila we don't want for a Talmud unless you don't have a Breda. A Talmud will hold like his Rebbe. Where did we get stuck? We got stuck that we found no Tana that says that lechatchila is good. Now we found it of Meir. Afilu Teima Rabbi Yehuda holds like his Rebbe. That what? That you lechatchila you don't have to, no, only with the evidence good. Only with the evidence good. Sfirole. And Veloy Kashem, it's when we find a Tana that speaks about lechatchila being allowed to do it, even though you can hear, that goes according to Rabbi Meir. And the Brais of the Birchas Hamazon goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. Perfect. And now we're going to have a similar puzzle. All coming back to this. So what was our maskana, my friends? Maskana is that we know for sure that Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says that lechatchila you should hear, which tzarech means b'diavad it's not good. Rabbi Yehuda is the Talmud of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So Rabbi Yehuda also meant like his teacher. Just that was worth to learn. No, it's students have to upleg in the way they're upleg by the Rebbe. You're not following blindly. It has to make sense to you to paskin the way your Rebbe paskin. If it doesn't make sense, then you have to argue. You can't stop go blindly.
Again, no, but yes.
Yeah. No, but you see.
When it said tzarech.
That's what Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah said tzarech. And therefore, let's say the Gemara is coming. It's better to say that the Talmud paskin like his Rebbe. We only got stuck when we learned Tanoim that speak about lechatchila. So instead of saying the only author is Rabbi Yehuda, now we have it Rav Meir. Now people, when they started to debate this, they didn't have access to that Brais. If not, they wouldn't even have gone back and forth. When they quoted the Tana of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, they discovered that Rav Meir. And he understands the words Al Levavecha. That's what Al Levavecha means. Shema is an inner movement. Let's go further. If Shema, we said, is Ratzui, for Ratzui you don't need words. We'll speak about this more later. For Ratzui you don't need words. Shuv, you need words. That's a klal. When you daven to connect to God, you don't need words. You need your heart. Rachmana liba boya. But after God blesses you because of your prayer for God's blessings to materialize in this world, the medium between Ruchnis and Gashmis are words. So if you don't say, Elyahu comes and he leaves. That's what the Zohar, that's the Zohar that we learned the night before of the Bris. Because words is what keeps Ruchnis down here. If Shema is to bring God into the world, then you have to have words. And if Shema is an upwards movement, then who needs words? Okay, and it fits with Rav Meir. Rav Meir was a deep person. Rav Meir lived in his own world. And we don't paskin like Rav Meir. Psak-din is bringing godliness down. All right, we'll speak more later if we have time. Tanan Hassan, 3 lines from the bottom. Same thing, Chavra Megillah. Hakok Shedem Likas Asa Megillah. Who cannot read the Megillah? If someone is not obligated, they cannot be moitzi. Chutz mecheresh shoyta v'katan. Now understand one thing, my friends. If reading Megillah is a din derabanan, we're going to touch now on the sugya. If someone is mechuyev because of chinuch to read, then maybe they can be moitzi someone else's midrabanan dekechiyuv. But the Mishnah says that everyone is kosher to read the Megillah aside of a cheresh. Cheresh here means a deaf mute who's spotted from the mitzvahs. A shoyta. How do you define the shoyta? Who knows? There's so many different approaches. And v'katan. However, Rabbi Yehuda machshav v'katan.
It's for himself we're talking, right? Not for somebody else. Just reading.
No, likris means for everyone else. If someone is not mechuyev and they read, who cares? Of course, to be moitz is someone else. Oh, now guys, the havamin, as you hear, is that when the Tanach says, right, that chutz means that they're so excluded that if they read it, you heard it, you have to rehear it. That's the havamin. Means even b'di'evet it's not good. We're speaking now about, we'll get in a moment, who are we looking at? Rabbi Yehuda machshav v'katan. Now, man Tanach chedesh di'evet namaloi. Again, this chedesh, I make it clear, this chedesh is not a deaf mute. A deaf mute cannot read. So I'm sorry. Just the deaf. Now, again, the havamina is that it's even b'di'evet not good. Who holds that? So here I have the same, who holds in our Mishnah even b'di'evet? Rabbi Yossi, right? Amar Amasa Rabbi Yossi. The Tanach we learned in our Mishnah, Shema v'lishmi lo azno yatsa divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Here again, divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi says, lo yatsa. Okay, so it's Rabbi Yossi. Challenges, they wanted the same thing. Mimai. How do you know that the Mishnah in Megillah goes according to Rabbi Yossi? Because you're learning pshat in the Mishnah in Megillah that when the Tanach says chutz means even b'di'evet it's not good. Di'evet namiloi, maybe that's not pshat in the Mishnah Megillah. Turning to Daf Tes Vav Amid Beis Dilma, Rabbi Yehuda. Maybe the author is Rabbi Yehuda. Now he's asking this question based on the premise that Rabbi Yehuda of our Mishnah, who says that it's good, it's only good b'di'evet. Lechatchila, you shouldn't say it. And maybe the Mishnah Megillah is only saying lechatchila, not a cheresh shoyta v'katan. Gavaldik. The lechatchila hu deloi. Hadi'evet shaper dami. So the Gemara says, no, that can't be pshat in the Mishnah Megillah. Because the Mishnah there juxtaposes, puts together cheresh shoyta v'katan. Lo yisakadaita. Don't think this way. Because since it says cheresh shoyta v'katan, so is it not that cheresh has to be like the shoyta and the katan? Meaning, for sure, the shoyta and the katan, which are not mechuyev, if I'm not mechuyev, how can I take away your obligation? Just to know, I'm only moitzi you because kol Yisrael arevim zebozeh. There's no chiyuv. If I'm not included in that pot, I can't be moitzi. Di'evet namiloi. So that in itself indicates chedesh di'evet namiloi, which is why it's correct to say the Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Yossi. Says the Gemara, no. The Dilma, haked isa v'haked isa. The Mishnah, maybe he's only speaking about lechatchila. Now, hold on. Shoyta v'katan, taka, even b'di'evet are not good. But the chedesh could be good. And then who would be the author in the Mishnah Megillah? Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda. How can you even say that when it says in the sefer of that Mishnah that Rabbi Yehuda holds? Rabbi Yehuda's machshir b'katan. So whenever you have a Mishnah, you have a Tanach, even if there's no name. Here, then you have Rabbi Yehuda says Is the Charai, the Tanach is not Rabbi Yehuda. Michlal the Reish Rabbi Yehuda. Says the Gemara, no. These are good klalim of Shas. I don't know how to learn. Maybe the whole Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda. However, there are two types of ktanim. Trei gavne cotton. Two dinim in a cotton. All right, Gemara. The chasuri mechzer avachi ktani. Ha koil kshedim likras samagila. Lechatchila. Let's go als lechatchila. Chutz mecheder sheit of a cotton. That they should lechatchila not read it. Lechatchila not read it. The medvar amurim. That a cotton may not lechatchila read b'cotton sheligia lechinuch. What's the age of a cotton sheligia lechinuch? Who knows? So look inside this Rashi. I hope we remember it. The first narrow line in Rashi. He says over here, what's a cotton sheligia lechinuch? Kegoin ben teisho ben eser. Now, what does he quote? He quotes Yuma. What is Yuma referring to? Fasting. Fasting. That before this age, a cotton may not fast. Many challenge Rashi. And the premise of the challenge is that for every mitzvah, there's another age of Higia L'chinuch. For fasting, it's Tesha 9 or 10. But maybe if you're reading the Megillah, it's earlier. And Vadai, we know today, we don't follow this. We don't have a 9 and 10. We have that then only for fasting. For every mitzvah, there's a different age of Higia L'chinuch. But coming back over here, Avol Katan Shigia L'chinuch. Now this is a big chiddush, the way he's learning. Afilu lechatchila, a cotton is allowed to read the Megillah. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Sheh Rabbi Yehuda machsher b'cotton.
That's the end of the rice.
That's a Mishnah. So here, this is we're making as a chassidut mechzera, or just by the fact when you read a Mishnah, the Mishnah gives a shita. Then it says, then it adds a din. It doesn't mean Rabbi, right? Hakel shedam liks Megillah chutz mecheder shedam b'cotton. Vir Rabbi Yehuda machsher b'cotton doesn't mean that Tanach is not Rabbi Yehuda. Now, just let me ask you: are you telling me that a cotton lechatchila can read the Megillah even though he's a gil lechinuch? How do you explain that? So there's a big machlokes rishonim when we speak about chinuch. Upon whom is the chiyuv? By chinuch. There's a sich in Chelik Yud Zayin, the fourth sich on Kedoshim. The Rebbe makes al shitasoi mamish throughout Shas between Rashi and Tosfos and Rambam and the Ravid. And the nakud of that is, it's fascinating, is that kul alma moide, that chinuch begins on the parent. The parent is mechuyev to be mechanach the child. But since for the mother to have that chiyuv, there needs to be a child. If not, whom are you being mechanach? So there are many Rishonim that understand that chiyuv carries over to the child itself. Which is why we find many times in the Rambam that the Rambam uses the words chayiv on the minor. Cotton shigia to that age, chayiv to sit in the sukkah. That would fit, because if the chiyuv of chinuch carries over to the minor, then so he's mechuyev. So he can be moitzi. Ana derabana. And let's leave, that's a big sugya, but let's go back, it's getting late. Okay, so all of this is just coming back that why did you say that the Mishnah Megillah goes according to Rabbi Yossi? I can tell you the Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda, but all of that is only if the pshat in Rabbi Yehuda is that it's only good b'di'evet, which is the way we concluded. But now we're going to go back to that. But Maya Kimta, okay, what do you want? You want to tell me the Mishnah Megillah goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. And that is based on our understanding that the Rabbi Yehuda of our Mishnah only means the Elyahu. Now we're going to have a little bit of a chazara. Loi, how it can be because Elyahu the Tani Rabbi Yehuda v'rei Rabbi Shimon Pazi. Chedesh Hamad Shemeya. That's the problem. This Brais of Trumas. The Mishnah in Trumas says, right? The Mishnah that we began has a b'di'evet. The Mishnah there says, don't do it, and if you did it, it's good. The Brais quotes lachatchila. Chedesh Hamad Shemeya Toirim lachatchila. Same. What are we going to come at the end with? Who's this? Who's the author? Rab Meir. But we didn't know that yet. It's the same back and forth. Who will be the author of this Beraisa of Trumos? Mani. Loi Rabbi Yehuda, Loi Rabbi Yossi. Because if it goes according to Rabbi Yehuda, the Evid in Lachatchila Loi. If it goes according to Rabbi Yossi, that's clear. No one is debating that. The Evid Nami Loi. Elamai. Okay, so Elamai, what's the answer? In order to find an author in the Beraisa of Trumos, it goes according to Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Yehuda means Lachatchila. Even Lachatchila, you don't hear. You don't have to hear. Elyahu the Tanya, and now we have another problematic brayso, the Birchas Hamazon brayso. Beautiful this. That lo yivarech adam birchas hamazon beliba means he said it, but he couldn't hear it. But b'di'evid it's good. Who? If Rabbi Yehuda means even lachatchila it's good. Rabbi Yossi holds even b'di'evid it's not good. Again, mani loy Rabbi Yehuda loy Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yehuda ha'amel lachatchila nami. Rabbi Yossi ha'amar afilu di'evid nami loy. Answers the Gemara. We had this on Amud Aleph. No. Lo'olam. Rabbi Yehuda he. Yeah, the price of Trumas goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. Even lechatchila, va'afilu lechatchila. Whenever we find a shita that says even b'di'evid not, that goes according to Rabbi Yossi. The Gemara doesn't even have to articulate that. You found me a price of birchas hamazon. In birchas hamazon, the price says lechatchila don't bench beliboy, but b'di'evid it's good. Who is that? Oh, that's Rabbi Yehuda's teacher, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Hadidei, Hadarabi. The Tanya Amar Rabbi Yehuda Mishum, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Hakoyre Shmat, Tzarech Shmei La'azmai. Tzarech Rashi says means lechatchila only. Lechatchila you should hear, as it says, Shema Yisrael. But now that we have this brayse here, Rav Meir challenges, Rav Meir Ereo Omer, Asher Nech Mesav Chayim, Alevavecha, meaning Achar Kavanas Alev Heinin Advarim. So again, Hadidei Hadarabi. So now the Gemara says, now that you revealed the brayse that Rabbi Meir holds that even lachatchila you don't have to hear what you're saying, why are you making a Talmud disagree with his rebbe? Hashta the asas lahache afilu teima Rabbi Yehuda kerabbe sfira lay, my friends, that what? That only b'di'evid it's good. In our Mishnah it's only hakoyrei. I b'loy kasha ha Rabbi Yehuda ha Rabbi Meir. Okay. Weiter cheder. Amar Rab Chizda, Amar Rab Shila. First of all, the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, Sha'amar, Mishum, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, that only b'di'evid it's good. And now where was that brayso? What was that brayso speaking about? That brayso of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah was speaking about Shema. And the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda in our Mishnah. Now what did we just learn? Twice. That Rabbi Yehuda in our Mishnah is only speaking about b'di'evid. Why did he have to say that twice? Let him just say, and I'll tell you more. If you have a doubt what the meaning of our Mishnah is, say the halach is like Rabbi Yehuda, She'amar Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. There it's clear, only b'di'evid. So where it says tzricha. Because if he only would have said halacha like Rabbi Yehuda in our Mishnah, as we just had a whole amar of the Gemara, it's not so clear what Rabbi Yehuda holds in our Mishnah. There was a havamina to hold that Rabbi Yehuda in our Mishnah holds even lachatchila. Afil lachatchila. Kumash Mulan, that's why he needed to quote the Braisa. There it's better spelled out. Halacha ki Rabbi Yehuda She'amar Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Now why did that not suffice? Ashmin halacha ki Rabbi Yehuda Mishum She'amar Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Ha'ava mina. That what? That tzarich. That everything was based. We learned at Rashi. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah never said that b'di'evid it's good. He said the word tzarich, and there are exceptions. And we would have thought that tzarich means you need to, and even b'di'evid and l'takana. That's fakir komash malan. That's the meaning of tzarich, or that this is not an exception.
So Rabbi Yehuda had to bring that it's b'di'evid. It's okay.
That's right. Okay, now we got it clear. So everyone, both, whether we started from the Megillah, whether we started from the Mishnah and Trumais, in our Mishnah, everyone holds lachatchila. You should hear to what you're saying. The only Tana that holds that you don't have to have an audible prayer is Rab Meir. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yosef. Machloikes b'kriya shema. Avol b'shar mitzvahs. Guys, we're learning Gemara Rashi, especially now that it's very late. Rashi says, shar mitzvahs b'chol ha-brachos. Not all mitzvahs, brachos. By brachos, divrei hakoil, lo yotza. Wow. Lo yotza. Dechsiv, it says, huh? Very good. You're not yotza the bracha. Dechsiv, haskes, ushma Yisrael, pashas tisavai. Right? Hayom hazeh neyes olam. Haskes means to be attentive. Haskes means to hear, to listen. Again, al pi chassidus, if we're saying that you have to make things audible when you're bringing godliness in the world, that's the whole word bracha. Bracha means to draw down kedusha. It has to be audible. Shema Yisrael, again, is Kabbalah's oil. It's a Mesiras Nefesh mode. There's more sfara to say. It doesn't have to be audible.
Where does the Shuma come in here? Isn't that when he say it's the same as Krishna.
Okay, he's paskening. B'divrei hakol. No, it fits. That's how we learned. In other words, the Mishnah says that a cheder should not be toirim. Why? Because he won't be yoytze the bracha. But if he separated truma, the truma is a truma.
He just wasn't to the bracha.
He didn't get the bracha. Meisvei, how can you say that? Le'yivarech adam birchas hamazim b'libai v'beirach yatsa. We just learned the braisa. So you can't say divrei hakoil. That's the problem. We just learned the braisa. And other the birchas hamazim is a doiraisa. Well, so why don't you say, No, this is a kasha. How can he say divrei hakol? We learned this a machlekes Tanach. We already had 3 shitas. We already had before this 3 shitas. We're paski saying by brachas, it's not divrei hakol. Ella itmer hachitmer. Amar Rabbi Yosef machlekes b'kli Shema because it says Shema Yisrael. Avol b'shan mitzvahs divrei hakol. Fakert that you are yoitza b'diavad even the bracha. Voksiv haskes u'shma Yisrael. So says the Gemara, who b'divrei Torah ksiv. Haskes, Rashi teaches, both the word has and cusses, and ein atoyim mischayim el b'misha meimis atzmo yalel. So haskes means to harve, to kill yourself over learning. Haskes goes to Torah learning. So according to what we're learning right now, that Torah learning, all of that is not enough to be amelim. So Torah is the ultimate mayim. They go mimakim gavayil makim namuch. That biggest, the most important part of our avodah, it should be b'dibur, is learning Torah. And you should just know that because of Tefillas Chana, we don't pass in that way. Whether Shmona Esrei you have to hear, and Sfardim and Ashkenazim, and the Zohar says La'asad Lavai, we won't have to hear what we're saying. All of that fits. Tefillah is an Aliyah. Even Shema, Torah, the whole Torah is not an Aliyah. Torah is not about me. It's about bringing Elikus into the world. The Rebbe's Medayik, why do we say the whole time that Torah is like Mayim? Mayim, they go down water by nature. It goes down. The Rebbe emphasizes that when water flows down, the water that you have down is the same water that was above. In all other levels of godliness comes into the world. But the lower it goes, the more concealed it becomes. There's a greater level of tzimtzum. Even though the Torah wasn't clothed in words that we can understand, it's the same water. It's such a good insight. And to bring it into the world, you got to speak it out. Let's see how much we can go by.
Is that also a reference to the bracha or specifically?
That even makes it greater for you to bring godliness down. How can you? The whole thing is about bringing Elikos into the world. So what are you doing? You're not mentioning that, or even go better. I'm going to go back. That bracha is l'chayda. Bracha means to be a mavrachas akafanim. You're bringing it down. You have to make a bracha. Okay. This is the same nekuda. How articulate do you have to? How meticulous do you have to be to enunciate every letter? Same concept. If it's more about the feeling, then the words are less important. If it's more about bringing something into the world, then the clearer the letter, then you bring it down into the lowest part of the world because there's words, which is a greater oid. Letters are the lowest level relative to a word.
Why wouldn't it just be the same discussion point that we had up until now?
What do you mean?
It holds that you have to be honorable. So then
It flipped. Here it flipped. It's amazing. Here it flipped. We said in Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah. The machmir is the mekel is the machmir. Amar Rabbi Tavi, Amar Rabbi Yosef. Halacha kidivrei shneim lahakel. In other words, when it comes to listening, who was the mekel, my friends? Rabbi Yehuda. When it comes to not needing to enunciate every letter, the mekel was Rabbi Yosef. We pass him like the mekel. Amar Rabbi Tavi, Amar Rabbi Yosef. Mai dechsiv shalosh. There are 3 that never get satiated. What are the 3? Sha'oil, the grave, the earth is never satisfied. No matter how many people you put in it, once more. And the narrow passage of the womb, those are having relations. A person is never satisfied. And the 3rd is that the earth is never satisfied with water. So the fact that we juxtapose the grave and the passageway of a womb, We're giving a quick jump back to Nida. Why is it that we find in Chazal that one of the names for a womb is what? Keved. Why is it called a keved? Remember that? So many names. This is the Gemara. Phenomenal insight. Marechem. Just like by a womb. Something goes in, something comes out. Machnes umoitzi. This is the meaning of a keved. That's the meaning of sho'ol. Sho'ol, machnes umoitzi. Now there are many levels to machnes umoitzi. When you put a person in the ground, they're not stuck in the ground. The neshama goes to Gan Eden. V'oid v'hua ikir, that it's temporary. That tchias hamesim. Oh, and not only that, people are modest. The act of the relation is done quietly. But when a baby is born, the mother is screaming, the baby is screaming, they're screaming out of pain, the other guys are screaming out of joy. It says that the whole burial is that when the resurrection is going to happen, there's going to be such a joy. And this hekesh of Mishlei is so powerful. Mikan tell them no. It says in Mishlei Sho'il and Gavaldik and V'oitzerechem. Befedish that is going to be Tchias HaMesim. Right, the Tani we learned that Dikdukei Seifrim is Medayik that it's not Rabbi Oishia, but it's the Tana Rabbi Yoishia. The Tani Rabbi Oishia in front of. I'm sorry, Fakir. It's the Rabbi Yoishia learned the Braisa. The Amoyed Rabbi Yoishia learned the Braisa in front of Rava when it says in the Parsha of Shema in V'yahavta in V'hoya Uchsaftam. Chsaftam is a composite of Hakoil B'chsav. Everything has to be written in. Afilut Savois, even the portion that speaks about the commandment of binding the tefillin on your hand and writing the mezuzah on your doorposts. That verse has to be written in the tefillin and in the mezuzahs. Okay? And not what? Not write in the theology, Hashem Echad, V'yahavta, V'shinamtam. No, even the tzavois, even the specific mitzvahs, even this mitzvah itself is written in the parshiyos, both in tefillin and in mezuzahs. Amar lei ha loch mani, right? The fact that you needed to have the words uchesaftam, we'll see it means ksaftam, a wholesome writing. The fact that you needed something to indicate that has to be written in, which implies that if the Torah wouldn't have spelled it out that way, you might have thought that the detailed mitzvahs don't have to be written in. Or, who is that? That's Rabbi Yehuda. Which Rabbi Yehuda? What did we learn, Chevre, by Soita? When the Kohen, amongst many other things, has to write the Parsha or some of the Psukim that you have in Nasai and put it on a parchment and erase it in the waters, how much of it does it have to be written? So there's a Machlokes Tanoim. Rabbi Yehuda holds only the Alois, only the actual text that speaks about the oath and the curse, they have to be written. But Savois, Eino Koisev, we were learning there in Pei K and Pasuk Chaf Aleph. Pasuk Chaf Aleph writes that V'hishbiya hakoyna seisha b'shua sa'ala. Rabbi Yehuda holds that doesn't have to be written in. The part that is commanding us what to do, that you don't have to write in. You're doing it. And v'hasam hu d'chsev v'chasav v'sa'ali sa'ela, which is from where Rabbi Yehuda learns only the curses have to be written, but the instructions don't have to be written. Over here, d'chsev uchsaftam. Chassidut write everything. Afilat tzavoi snami. So the Gemara asks the opposite logic. The fact that the Torah there needed to exclude, not to write the tzavois, but writing v'chasav olois, indicates that if God doesn't specify what He wants you to write, you got to write everything. No, that's not the reason. The reason is, no, it's not because it says v'chasav and uchsaftam. God could have written v'chasav. It says uchsaftam tamas timimus. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need a reason to write it. Rabbi Yehuda needs a reason when not to write it. The word olois excludes tzavois. Olois in tzavois loy. So the kasha is, why, if you're telling me that this is Rabbi Yehuda, why did Hashem have to write the words uchsaftam? By default, I would write everything. Answers the Gemara, no, the word uchsaftam has to be written. It would not have sufficed for Hashem to write v'chasav. Because I would have thought, now that Hashem was revealed, that by Soita you don't write all of the instructions. You only write the main parsha, the toichem, the always, the oaths, the curses. Mahasam only always in Savois Loi, Af Hachi Nami Savois Loi. That's why Kosav Rachmanoch Saftam. No, that here you have to write all of the words. Let's go a little bit weiter. Tani Rab Oivadya. Kamei de Rava. Whether they lived at the same time or not is a question. When it says Uli Maditem, you shall teach. You know what that means? Sheyehei lemut chatam. That you're teaching is zikr, you're speaking to someone else. That your words should be wholesome. Meaning, sheyitim revach bein adveikim. Make a space in between words that are stuck together. Meaning, ani rava basrei kigoyin. Al, take a little break. Levavecha. Al levavechem b'chol levavecha b'chol levavechem eisev beis and beis b'sadecha va'avadetem mem meheira hakonov pei psil eschem mem me'eretz. Now look inside Tosfos, 3 lines from the bottom. V'chein tzarech lahatiz zayin shel tizkiru. What shloi yishama shouldn't sound like you're saying a sin tizkiru. Why is that so important? Laman, because you know what the meaning would be if you add a sin? That you know why we're doing all of this? In order, there should be schar. Fair. No. Laman sheyeh lanu schar mitzvahs. Ve'ein lanu lasos almanas lekabel pras. So to make sure that it's not almanas, you emphasize the letter. We got another few lines. Amar Rabchama Rachanina. In the positive, they cool hell down for him. Even the Gehenna is cool for him. Shenemar says, no, to hell he'll go. That was then. Okay, Shenemar, Befares, right? Befares Shakai Melachim. Befares means when God will scatter those, right, kings. But in their scattering, when they're expelled, is Tashleg, Milashon Sheleg, cooling off, their tzalmoin, their darkness. Al tifrei befaresh, don't read scattered, but read befaresh. When you clearly articulate, shakai, Rashi says, what does Shin Dalad Yud refer to? The Shema, and that's why you have a Shin Dalad Yud on every mezuzah. It's connected to the Shema. So when you befaresh, when you mefarish it, then you know what God does? He brings cooling system. B'tzalmoin, not in the shadowy darkness, but b'tzalmavos in the shadowy death, and that's the nekuda, that when you say the words, you bring godliness down. How far down? Even in Gehenna. You bring them all the way down. Godliness is warmth, good, pleasantness, and it brings kedusha even to the lowest of levels. To be continued. Not too hot, okay.